Which weapon in Valheim can inflict the most damage on an enemy? Your first thought might be a mace, or a hammer, or even a sword. While all those weapons can do massive damage, they all fall short of the smallest weapon in the game. I'm MediocreMilton, and in this video, I'm going to show you why you might be missing out on dealing the most damage to your enemies in Valheim. If you do end up finding this video helpful, please click the like button, and consider subscribing for more videos like this. Also, I do stream over on Twitch, link for that is down in the description below. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to test out all the weapons in the game, and what we're going to do is we're going to test them out against the first boss of the game, Eikthyr. The reason we're going to test them against Eikthyr is he is the only enemy in the entire game that has no weakness, no immunity, and no resistance to any weapon type. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the best of each type of weapon, so I've crafted each one of them. So right now I have a max level Huntsman Bow, a max level Black Metal Axe, a max level Fang Spear, a max level Black Metal Sword, max level Black Metal At Gear, a max level Porcupine, a max level Frostner, and a max level Black Metal Knife. And with the bow, we'll be using the needle arrows. They're the best arrows in the game right now. And for my skills, this character is maxed out. It has 100 in every skill, so we're going to get a fair assessment. And real quick, when we look at the skills, when we look at the weapons, what you're going to see is weapons will have, most weapons have a basic attack. Well, every weapon has a basic attack. Some weapons have a heavy attack, and then you can also get parry bonuses. For example, here you'll see this bow has a 1.5 parry bonus. What that means is if you parry when an enemy attacks you, your next shot, when you fire at it, will do 1.5 damage if it's still stunned. And they can also have Backstab. Backstab is if you sneak up on an enemy. So there's a boar over here, and if you see this boar real quick, we'll sneak up on him. If he has the little yellow thing above him, like that, that means we'll get the Backstab, and you'll do the extra damage. Now, if we alert him, he'll get the red exclamation point. So when he's got the red exclamation point, we'll just get regular damage against him. And what we're going to do is we're going to spawn in Eikthyr. I'm going to use each one of the weapons to kill him, and we're going to do regular attacks with him, and then we're also going to do a secondary where we get 100% Backstab by going into Ghost Mode, just to show you how it works, and to show you the maximum potential for each weapon. So let's get started on that by spawning in Eikthyr and killing him with a bow. Okay, so we got Eikthyr in, and what we're going to do is we're just going to shoot the bow at him. So it did 96 damage the first time, 98, 99, 111, and 104. So the max it did was 111. It did around 92, between 90 and 111 every single time. So now let's spawn him in and use the axe and see what kind of damage that can do. Alright, so now we spawned him in. We're going to use the axe against him. This is a max level Black Metal Axe. Alright, we did 94, 99. Those are the basic attacks. Now I'm going to do the... Does this have a... No, this doesn't have a heavy attack. 106, 94. You'll notice the third attack on a combo always seems to do the most damage. So the most we got there was about 104.5. And now we're going to spawn him in and use the spear to see how much damage that can do. So far, the bow has slightly outperformed the axe in terms of max damage it can do, but they're about the same in terms of consistency. Alright, now we're going to use the... This is the Fang Spear. This is the best spear you can currently craft. Now the spear has 2 attacks. You can stab with it, so that's doing 70 and 81. Now we're going to throw it. That's the heavy attack. That did 131. And we got it right back, which was awesome. So if you're too far away when you throw it, it will actually... You'll have to go get it. So like if we throw it from here... Well, he got right in our face. It did 122. So the spear with the heavy attack did a little bit more damage than both the bow and the axe. And then the basic attack was about... a little bit better than those, but about the same. So no big difference between the bow, the axe, and the spear. Next up, we have the Black Metal Sword, and we're going to let him do his attack. We're going to hit him a couple with the basic attacks here. So 112, the first, 99, and 103. Now we're going to do the heavy attack, which is a stab. That did 306. So the sword heavy attack did about 3 times more than the other 3 weapons we've tested so far. Next up is going to be the At Gear. So let's spawn Eikthyr one more time. The At Gear is a... It's not a spear. It's like it's a pole arm. So your pole arm skill will determine this. It has 2 attacks. So the basic attack is you run in and just stab him. So that one did 118. Seems to be on par with the sword. It also has a really long range. We did 120 there. And then 121. This is really good for fighting against large mobs if you get overwhelmed. So now we're going to do if we use the heavy attack. So now we're going to use the heavy attack, which is a spinning attack. That did 117. And then 114. So the heavy attack and the basic attack for this did about the exact same damage. The only benefit for this is that it spins in a circle. So if you're surrounded by enemies, you can kill all of them. Next up is going to be the Porcupine, which is the best mace in the game. So here's Eikthyr again. The mace also has... This mace has a heavy attack as well as a basic attack, so we're going to do the basic attack first. So we did 110. 99. 99. So this thing's not even getting the combo bonus, doesn't seem like. Now we're going to hit him with the heavy attack, which is a swinging motion. Did not make contact there. 262, so that outperformed everything but the sword so far, which I think did over 300 if I remember correctly. Next up is going to be the Frostner, which is the best hammer in the game currently. So the Frostner has 2 attacks like most of the other weapons. It's got a basic, so you hit, hit, hit. It did 166 on the third, so that's the third hit of the combo. Now the heavy attack did 213, so still not as good as the sword. The sword still has the highest heavy attack, but it is comparable to most of the other weapons, or better than most of the other, like the axe and the spear. Then last but not least is going to be the Black Metal Knife. Black Metal Knife has 2 attacks, so it does the basic attack. Now here it does like very little damage, but what we're looking for is the heavy attack on this thing. So the heavy attack is a lunging stab. It did 115. So that might not seem like a lot when we compare it to the other weapons right now. It's kind of comparable. But what you're going to see is this weapon actually has the potential for the most damage if you're able to get a sneak. Now when you're fighting Eikthyr, if you're fighting him solo, it's probably going to be pretty hard to get sneak on him. But this is just a demonstration. You can sneak up on most other enemies. So what we're going to do now is we're going to spawn in ghost mode just to show you what happens if the enemies can't detect you. It's the easiest way to do this against Eikthyr because we're not going to be able to not be detected by him. And we're going to go through each of the weapons really quickly again to show you how much extra damage you get through Backstab with each one of them, and show you which one is actually capable of getting over 1,000 damage on a single strike, which will kill almost any enemy in the game right now. Alright, so we spawn Eikthyr in, and we're in ghost mode, so as you can see, he can't even detect us. This will be equivalent of sneaking up on an enemy, and we're going to use the bow here. And as you can see, it did way more damage, so it did 292 damage there. 111 there. So the first shot is going to be the one that is going to show you what you're actually going to get. So when you sneak up, the first attack you do is going to give you the backstab. So in this case, it gave us 292 damage, which was far and away more than a regular attack with it. So the bow is actually pretty good because you can snipe enemies from pretty far away and usually get the backstab if they don't detect you. Like this deer over here. Let's see if we can hit that real quick. We one-shot it. I have no idea how much damage it did because it was too far away. But let's spawn in Eikthyr again in ghost mode using the other weapons. Alright, next up is the Black Metal Axe, and our first hit's going to be the one that's the backstab. And it did 327. And then we're back to the basic attacks now, because even though he can't see us, he has detected us. So the axe did 327. That's about equal to what the heavy attack was for the sword, so the sword's still outperforming even with the basic attack over the axe. Now we're back to the Fang Spear. We're going to do the heavy attack here for the first sneak attack to see what the max we can get is. And it did 358. And as you can see, the spear came over here. Now we're just going to finish him off real quick. So 358, that actually so far is the highest damage we've done on with any of the weapons, I believe. Now we're on the Black Metal Sword. The Black Metal Sword, I believe, had the highest damage of any of the weapons so far. So we're going to sneak up and just stab him. We can get close enough to him. And that did 903 damage. So a backstab heavy attack with the sword did 903 damage. Closest to 1,000 yet. About almost 3 times more than any other attack in the game that we've showed so far. Alright, next up is the Black Metal Gear, and we're going to do the heavy attack. Which did 328 damage. Again, that's about equal to what that was with a backstab with the Gear, did 328. Alright, now we're on the best mace in the game. This is the Porcupine Mace, so we're going to sneak up on him and do the heavy attack. If he stops moving for a second. 812. So 812, that's a little bit less than the sword did, but I mean, it one-shot Eikthyr. That would one-shot any basic enemy in the game, meaning if they have no stars, even a troll or a Falling Berserker, that would kill them in one shot. Anything but the Lox. The Lox has 1,000 HP. Alright, now we're on the best hammer in the game, the Frostner, and we're just going to hit him with a heavy attack. And that did 598 damage. That was enough to one-shot him. That would nearly one-shot a troll. If you get lucky and it does a little bit more damage, you'll actually get... If you can get over 600, you can one-shot a troll with that. So, that was the Frostner with a backstab heavy attack. And last but not least is the Black Metal Knife. So, we're going to do the backstab there. It did 1,150 damage. So, the backstab for the knife Now, while the base damage for the knife is not as high as other weapons, the backstab, as you'll notice, is 10x, and also the parry bonus is 4x. So we didn't do any parries in this video, but the parry bonus ranges from 1.5 all the way up to 4. So the black metal knife, while the base damage for it might not be the best, it does have high attack speed, but for parrying and for backstab, it has tremendous damage, and the backstab is so much better than any other weapon right now. If you're able to sneak up on an enemy and do the backstab with a black metal knife, you can one-shot pretty much almost any enemy in the game, including a 1-star troll and even sometimes a 1-star Falling Berserker, I believe, and also a regular Lox. Finish the video off, we're going to use the black metal knife using a backstab against a regular troll. So here we have a regular troll, and what we're going to do is we're going to do the heavy attack with the knife, hit him from the back, and 1,448. That's just about as high as I've ever gotten. I think I've gotten over 1,500 a couple of times on a troll. So that would have one-shot a 1-star troll as well. They have 1,200 health. But it will for sure, every single time, if you can get a backstab with a high enough knife skill and a good enough knife, kill a troll. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button and consider subscribing for more videos like this. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite weapon is in the game. And if you want to see some live gameplay of Valheim, playing that over on Twitch, link for that is down in the description below as well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.